Hello and welcome to the Copywriting Titan. My name is Svet, and today we're going to be talking about how to craft high converting copy using reviews. And in my previous video, I was talking about how to write copy without actually writing copy. And I'm going to give you a bit of a heads up. That's how you do it. You use the reviews. But today I'm going to be focusing more on the negative reviews because most people just take a look at the 4 and 5 star reviews and they're a great source of copy as well. But if you want to really craft great high converting copy that addresses all objections and makes you a lot of money, then you need to be looking at the negative reviews. So let's take a look at these few negative reviews that I have selected for different Amazon products. All right, let me move myself here so you can see my pretty face here, and let's take a look. So this one is an electric blah blah. Sorry about that. Electric spin scrubber. So as you can see, the first review doesn't meet expectations. There's a lot of stuff here. I this seems a little bit fake because you have battery life with a column, power and speed with a column, brush heads, and just this feels way too how to say, way too sterile, which I think is AI. So I'm not sure if this is a great source to start with. But here it says not water resistant. Despite me marketing as a sealed device, water was able to enter and damage the product. Junk, that's not very helpful. Save your money. Absolute junk. Overconsumption, waste. It falls apart easily. Okay, not so good. Could not remove brush head. Doesn't work properly. Okay, maybe this one. After several attempts, I have to admit failure. This scrubber has several flaws. This has no swivel, so with difficulty, not impossible to get into corners. Okay, so this one is great. If you have a similar product, or if you are a copywriter writing for a similar product, then you want to be focusing on stuff like this, not just the features like the head of a scrubber has no swivel, and you can say, "Hey, this head has swivel," but you want to be talking about the benefits. So it is difficult, if not impossible, to get into corners or anything other than a completely flat surface. So if you're writing a product, the product copy for this, or if it's an email or even a landing page, you can say, "This head has doesn't have swivel." Okay, I mean, the head of the scrubber has swivel, which means it will be difficult, impossible, or so that. Most of the time, when you're writing copy, and you can say feature, so that, benefit. So, for instance, the head of a scrubber has swivel, so that you can reach out into any corner or anything other than completely flat surface. Okay, so in this case, it would be the head of the scrubber has swivel, which means you will be able to reach out, difficult or even impossible to get into corners or something like that. That would be great copy. Okay, and then you can focus on the other part of the copy here. The biggest flaw is that even the slightest pressure on a surface makes the device turn off entirely. Okay, so this is also a great source of how you can develop a product better. For example, if you have a prototype and you're reading all the reviews about this, then you can talk to your manufacturer and say, "Hey, I need this to be fixed." For example, if something like this is happening and you need to test it out, if you're a business owner and you want to start selling a product, you must test it. You must test it a few times, especially if it's a physical product. Okay, so it's useless. Okay, it stopped working after a month. Ineffective because the head spins. I was ready to try it. It was easy to sound, however, not stay in a stable position. Kept going in a circle, making it impossible to use with the extension pose. Okay, that's not bad. But your idea here is to skim through those negative reviews. Most of them have like a headline, save your money, absolute junk. So we want to be looking for some that's not in expectations. This is good because it has a lot of stuff, but as I said, this seems like a little bit of AI, so maybe not the greatest. But you want to be working. You want to be looking for something that is more specific. Does not work properly. It's not great, but there's a lot of text here, so maybe you can find something. Stop working after a month. This would be almost impossible to turn into a great high converting copy. Um, okay, so let's take a look at the other page. What not to do? Great concept, weak performance, and short lifespan. The concept is great, blah blah. Fortunately, didn't live up expectations. Interest after working, blah blah blah. I found myself having to apply a lot of pressure. Okay, having to apply a lot of pressure. This is good. Disappointed, satisfied, breakable handle. Okay, it doesn't seem like there's a lot. Let's take a look at the next two pages very quickly, not worth the time. Okay, it is difficult to find where to plug in the charger. Okay, I tried both high and low modes. Piece of garbage, return it, rate while it lasted, complicated. Okay, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of great reviews here. So maybe we can take a look at the 2-star unscrews when you're using it. This particular one was defective. Item only work after he uses. Okay. So when you're looking for these, you want to be looking at for something very specific in this reviews, because you don't want to be sieving through, let's say, how many are here? 128. There's a lot. So let's move on to another one that I have picked. This is a health supplement. It's an advanced B complex, complete B complex supplement. It says stay away from these pills. Okay, this is kind of interesting, although it's not very specific. Around October, my hands began tingling. Not bad, it was there. Since I have nerve damage, I assumed blah blah blah. Wishing now that I had read the 1-star reviews before ordering them. Okay, let's take a look at the other ones. Took 2 pills, almost went to the hospital. Wow, this can actually be a great headline or a great subject line for an email if you can. So, for example, took 2 pills, almost went to the hospital. I was having a stroke. This is what happened to a company that had a lot of that was selling a B complex supplement. That happened to a person, not a company, and because the B6 dosage is too high, so when you're formulating your supplement, make sure that the B6 dosage isn't too high, and you mention that in the copy. This is great stuff here, and this is great copy as well. So maybe you can say, you can use this as some kind of testimonial. And I read a horror story about a person who got this. Maybe you don't want to mention the brand actually. You don't want to be comparing, but just like saying, hey, there are many different supplements that are selling B complex, and the B6 dosage is way too high. And in our supplement, it's much lower, which means that you won't have any issues, or maybe something like this. Okay, let's see the other one. Made me sick and bedridden. Trusted the brand not anymore. It has way too much B6. Okay, this is the same here. So 100% you need to focus on making sure that when you're writing your copy, you mention that there's not a lot of B6, unless there is, and you need to talk to your to the offer owner and say this might not sell well. And also, if you are the owner, maybe you should consider lowering the dosages of B6. Okay, B6 total toxicity, this is the same. So great stuff here, too much B6. So I guess this guy overdosed on B6, and that's why a lot of people, let's see, 169 people are having a ton of issues. And I'm guessing a lot of these 2-star reviews and maybe the 3-star reviews maybe also had some issues with that. Use with caution. Okay, this is not very concrete. Can cause B6 toxicity. 6,000% of daily value of B6. Oh my God, this is crazy. Avoid this one. Okay, now you know if you're writing for a supplement, you need to check the dosages, especially the B6 if it's an advanced B complex. Okay, let's take another one and we can wrap this video up. But if you're enjoying it, please consider subscribing to my channel and give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment below if this has been helpful so far. Okay, let's take a look. This is an Instant Pot Duo. It has 43,000 almost ratings, which is kind of crazy. And they have 900 almost 1-star reviews. So there's a lot of stuff here. First of all, unbelievably poor customer support, buy at your own risk. Okay, I'm not sure if this is great. It's a lot of copy, so maybe you can find something. But I would first take a look at the headlines and see if I can find something better. Don't remove the lid sticker. Okay, with 3 exclamation marks. I gave it a 1 to get people's attention, although there is a yellow car inside. La, la, la. Don't do it. I made a mistake of. Made a mistake. Okay, this is a silly review. This is very silly, and I would be quite frustrated if I were, because they're giving this. Let's see. There's a yellow car inside a pot tells you to remove all packaging materials. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, then this makes perfect sense. That was my bad. Okay. Why did you pick this product versus others? I follow the correct steps. Burn warning. Okay, that's not great. 0 stars. So main grade side, unfortunately. Okay. Error. Okay, issues immediately. Maybe there's something here. Venting when sealed. This is my third and only. I think with physical products like this, there can be some defects. So I would be looking here not for reviews that talk about defects, because obviously they can happen, especially if they're selling so many. If they have 40,000 reviews, probably they've sold like several millions of these instant pots. So I'll be looking at something more specific here if you want to be writing copy for this one. Let's take a look at the 2-star reviews. It works except one issue. I bought this. It looks on blah, blah, blah. It works except the liquid spills before the cap seals. It had one job. Make yogurt. Okay. Produce this horrible rice. Okay. Avoid this model. That we have to push the start button to get to work, a feature that the other one doesn't have. Not very helpful. Float. A skeptic is convinced and never disappointed. Short lifespan. Poor customer service. So none of these are great for copywriting right now, because poor customer support, okay, that's not exactly about the product. Don't believe the hype. If it was defected, obviously that's still not, like, if there are like so many defects, I guess it would be bad. But as you can see, 82%, and like the 4 and 5-star reviews are 93%, which means the product is very good. Dangerously loose valve stem and exposed metal. Okay, this one is, maybe you can talk about how your product's valve stem is much more tight than this one, much tighter. Because if this is dangerously loose, then it can probably explode and it can cause a lot of trouble in the kitchen. So I think this one can be used for good copy. But yeah, this is how I would actually write copy. I would try to find something that's like, if it's a feature. Let me see if you can still see me. Okay. Yes. So if you have a feature of a product, let's say it has bigger lid, so that it has a tighter valve. What was it? It has a tighter valve, whatever. There you go. It has a tighter valve stem, so that it wouldn't expose, or it wouldn't explode or something. Probably that's still bad copy, but you have the feature, which is a tight valve stem, and then the benefit, so that blah blah. You have, for example, in the first review, they were talking about um, what was it? Oh yeah, the swivel. So they had this head that wouldn't swivel. So you have so the feature is you have, for example, good swivel so that you can reach hard to reach places, or you can clean hard to reach or almost impossible to clean spaces, for example. So you have the feature and then the benefit. And when you find those here in the copy, then you would be able um, to easily write very good high converting copy, whether you are a business owner who writes your own copy, or you're a copywriter writing for a client, or if it's something similar, maybe sometimes you're a business owner but you also have copywriters. If you want to achieve their copy, you can also try to find or to tell them, hey, you're focusing too much on the features, talk about the benefits, go to the reviews. And if you have like a junior copywriter and you want to get them to the so-called next level in copywriting, tell them to go to read all the reviews, and it will be a great choice. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I always try to make my videos as um, practical as possible. I try to leave almost all theory out, but this is a theory. You have the feature, and then you have the feature, but you must link it to the benefit. So this is a theory here: feature, benefit. Because if you focus on the benefit of that feature, the copy is going to be so much stronger. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because I'll be dropping more practical videos about copywriting and branding and e-commerce very soon. So thank you and see you next time.